Hi, I'm Doug Keck. This is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Just had the pleasure of speaking with my good friend, Father Charles Connor, about his latest book, Faith and Fury, The Rise of Catholicism During the Civil War, proudly published by all of us here at EWTN. You can check it out at EWTNRC.com, of course. Father Connor, Faith and Fury, the Civil War. You're a historian. Why'd you decide to put this book together?
Well, of course, it's the most obvious reason, I think, is it's a sequel to our first book on the period of the 13 colonies, the Revolutionary years, the early national period. So we just move into the 19th century and try to keep the story going, of course. And,
right. Well, what is probably the most distinctive aspect? People think of the Civil War and they think of the battles, and obviously that's involved here, but there's a lot more background you have in this book, right?
Yes, oh sure. You have to lead up to the Civil War by talking about the tremendous influx of Catholic immigrants and the terrible time these Catholic immigrants had in the United States, the terrible hostility that was directed against them. And because they were so victimized, if anything good can be said to come out of war, something good came out of it for Catholics, because whether you were fighting for the North or you were fighting for the South, nonetheless you were still fighting for your part of the country. You were in there displaying the same kind of patriotism that all of your fellow Americans were displaying as they were fighting in these respective armies. And really, because of that, people began to take a second look. Well, maybe these Catholics aren't as bad as we initially thought they were. So for us, it was very beneficial, the war years, in that respect anyway.
And it's interesting, too, because like you said, you've got the Southern Catholics and Northern Catholics who are then fighting each other.
Yes.
I know in the book you talk
just
about
as politically
Bull
divided
Run
as
and other
anyone
battles
else.
where
Sure.
they actually were engaged against each other.
But the very important point here, Doug, I think, is that while they were as divided as all of their fellow Americans, at no time, not for a second, was the doctrinal unity of the faith ever compromised. Why, for example, do we have Southern Baptists today? They broke from the Northern Baptists at the time of the Civil War over political issues. And such is true with other various Christian denominations. That kind of thing was not even remotely ever thought of in the Catholic faith. And that's a great, great tribute to the fullness of truth.
Right. Faith and Fury, The Rise of Catholicism During the Civil War by Father Charles Connor. Thank you so much, Father Charles. Look for the book available through our catalog, of course. Look for the entire interview coming soon on the network. I'm Doug Keck. This has been a Bookmark Brief. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.